potato.
Live from Brisbane, this is 7 News.
Good afternoon. Our top stories on 7. A week since the Gold Coast helicopter tragedy, one of the young victims undergoes a marathon surgery. Rural families devastated as a savage bushfire near Melbourne ravages properties. Doctors and pharmacists issue an alert as shortages of antibiotics force them to use weaker alternatives. And a pair of thoroughbreds run amok on the Gold Coast, the Magic Millions promotional race that ended in a police pursuit. It's been just over a week since the deadly helicopter crash on the Gold Coast, and this afternoon we're learning more about the two boys who were critically injured. Georgia, Holland, they're both still in hospital. How are they doing?
It will be a long road to recovery, Georgie. Good afternoon. Nicholas Tadros and Leon Da Silva remain in the Queensland Children's Hospital in Brisbane, where right now 10-year-old Nicholas is undergoing a marathon surgery after suffering extensive injuries in that horrific crash last Monday. His father Simon saying this will be a major test on his body, telling 7 News today his mind is only with Nicholas. While 33-year-old Winnie also remains in hospital after undergoing a lengthy surgery yesterday. Her son Leon is in a stable condition and now out of a coma.
Leon is spending most of the time sleeping. I got to communicate with him. He said "Dad" to me, which was great, and he lifted his thumb and mainly sleeping. Oh, that's amazing. That was the best thing ever.
We're also learning more details this afternoon about the funeral for pilot Ashley Jenkinson. He will be farewelled at Southport on Friday at a service only for friends and family, while on Sunday a memorial service will be held at the Broadwater so the Gold Coast community can honour all the victims of this horrific crash. Georgie.
Thank you, Georgia. There were bizarre scenes on the Gold Coast after two horses bolted from the annual Magic Millions beach run. The pair led their jockeys, officials and police on a pursuit through the streets of Surfers Paradise, narrowly missing oncoming traffic. Georgia Costi was there.
Every year in the lead up to the Magic Millions race day, thoroughbred horses and their champion jockeys gallop along the Surfers Paradise beachfront. But this year things didn't go according to plan. Two retired racehorses participating in the sprint, Julio and Larry, ran away from the beach after their jockeys fell off. Shocked holidaymakers and residents filmed the chaos from their hotel balconies.
This is not good. Oh my God.
The horses galloped along the busy Gold Coast highway against the traffic, narrowly avoiding cars and trucks. It was a race against time to catch up with the runaways. Magic Millions officials gave chase on horseback and on foot. So too did Gold Coast Police, as well as members of the public.
Two horses come racing past and we thought this shouldn't be happening. So we started following them to see if we can get them.
So I've looked out on the veranda and there's two racehorses running down the middle of our lovely little street, which is very quiet normally.
Eventually they were caught in front of a small block of apartments and loaded into a horse carrier. They were then returned to their paddocks. Magic Millions officials say that the horses have been checked over by vets and they are uninjured. The jockeys who fell off are also fine.
Cars and a home have been destroyed in an uncontained bushfire burning west of Brisbane. 120 firefighters fought the blaze at Melbourne overnight, which has burnt through 400 hectares, claiming a house, shed and multiple vehicles.
We do have some hotspots, which we've asked for water bombers to come in and assist those crews with holding those hotspots and trying to help put them out.
It had begun as a small grass fire. In an unprecedented address, the Chinese ambassador has raised a glass to Australia, declaring the country's relations with Beijing are at a critical turning point. It comes as one of our key allies is warning the government to remain vigilant. Jeremy Frost reports.
Good afternoon. China's ambassador to Australia says 2022 was an extraordinary year for the relationship between Canberra and Beijing. Ambassador Zhao Zhen thanking the new Labor government for a revival of positive relations as he held a rare news conference inside the Chinese embassy. He says China is ready to work constructively with Australia on areas of common ground. The federal government has been pushing for Beijing to lift $20 billion in trade sanctions and release 2 Australians detained on espionage charges.
We can address the differences in a way that will not allow the differences to hijack the overall relationship.
The ambassador wouldn't confirm reports that China is preparing to partially lift a ban on Australian coal exports, but claims the bilateral relationship is at a critical turning point.
I hope China and Australia will continue to rise above differences, to respect each other, to work together for mutual benefit.
The Albanese government will always act in Australia's best interests in accord with our values and our interests.
The Chinese ambassador's address comes as Japanese ambassador Yamagami Shingo warns Australia to remain vigilant about China's intentions.
Apart from change of tone, is there anything fundamental changing? That's a key question we have to ask.
But his remarks have been blasted by the Chinese ambassador.
During the Second World War, Japan invaded Australia, bombed Darwin, killed Australians.
Ambassador Zhen claims China has always been and will continue to be a friend to Australia.
A police officer has been charged with high-range drink driving after he crashed into another car while on duty last Wednesday. The senior constable blew more than 3 times the legal blood alcohol limit. A driver and passenger in the other car were taken to hospital with minor injuries. The constable has been stood down. A close friend of Camilla has revealed the Queen Consort is astounded by her stepson's portrayal of her as villainous, dangerous and wicked. The rogue prince offered that scathing indictment during interviews to promote his memoir, Spare. It goes on sale online in Australia from today. Sarah Greenolt reports.
Well, as Harry's tell-all memoir, Spare, hit shelves in Australia today, he has been on this transatlantic TV blitz, this seemingly never-ending barrage of grievances and so-called truth bombs with very few people, in fact, spared. Harry is scathing in the first few interviews of his stepmother, the Queen Consort Camilla, saying she is a villain, calling her dangerous over her relationship with the press, saying that she was so desperate to rehabilitate her image that basically she was willing to throw anyone else under the bus. Camilla's reputation, her image, did in fact undergo a major transformation from being labelled as the third person in Charles and Diana's marriage to then eventually marrying Charles herself. But there is a very distinct change in the tone and the language used by Prince Harry between a few of these interviews. Take a listen.
She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. I have a huge amount of compassion for her, you know, being the third person within my parents' marriage. I love every member of my family, despite the differences. So when I see her, we're perfectly pleasant with each other.
There has also been a lot of analysis, a lot of headlines in regards to racism and the royal family. Harry was questioned about the comment that he and Meghan made back in the Oprah interview almost 2 years ago now. You might remember Meghan said that there was a senior member of the royal family who had raised concerns about the colour of their then unborn child's skin. Well, Harry says they were not criticising the royal family for being racist, that it was the British press who actually came up with that themselves, that they were talking about unconscious bias. Now, many here in the UK have been pointing out, why did it take almost 2 years for them to change this narrative? Harry is adamant that he wants to reconcile with both his brother and his father, who he admits he is not speaking to, but it is very clear from these interviews, from the book, that a lot of healing needs to be done before that could even be considered.
There's growing speculation defending Australian Open champion Rafael Nadal could call time on his career after this summer. Natalie Yanidis was at Melbourne Park earlier today.
Reigning Australian Open champion Rafael Nadal is back in Melbourne and preparing to defend his crown. The 36-year-old had a hit up at Melbourne Park today, but it's unclear how many more trips the Spaniard will make to Australia as injuries start to take their toll.
It's true that the last couple of months I was not able to play much tennis, and here at the beginning of the season I lost the 2 matches in Sydney. But honestly, I am not unhappy with the preparation.
You've got another 5 in you to be coming down here, haven't you?
I don't know, I'm going to fight.
This will be the first time Nadal has played the Australian Open since becoming a dad to his baby boy, but fatherhood hasn't affected his tennis.
Super happy, enjoying a lot this new part of my life, and I have been lucky that my wife never put any pressure on coming back.
Nadal was on hand to help Tennis Australia unveil a new 5-year partnership with long-term sponsor Kia. The world number 2 will take part in tomorrow night's Peace for Play charity event ahead of Thursday's official main draw.
Let's check on today's weather now. Here's coastal expert Paul Bird.
Georgie, great to have your company and everyone at home as well. We're down here on the beach of Surfers Paradise. Very windy today and hot, absolutely. A lot of people still out there swimming. If you notice in the distance there, they really are in a very concentrated, tightly knit area. The flags at the moment around most beaches only about 40 metres apart. That means there's a lot of rip, sweep and undertow present. Of course, with that, please stay between the flags if you are going to dip the toes. Today's temperatures, everybody, we're climbed to 33 degrees in Ipswich. It got down to about 32 degrees around Logan, 30 degrees in the city. But as we venture closer to the coast, down came the temps thanks to that sea breeze. 28 to 29 the average, overnight 19 to 21 degrees. I'll be back a little bit later with more weather there, Georgie.
Thanks, Bertie. Chat soon. Doctors and pharmacists sound the alarm over a nationwide shortage of an essential medication. My parents may struggle to find antibiotics for their children. Plus, a stolen bus spotted in Southport after ramming 2 parked cars, and what the future holds for Speedway after Archerfield.
In 7 News, Magic Millions chaos, the beach race becomes a chase through the Gold Coast. Youth crime crisis, a woman hit by her own stolen car. Darwin shaken by a powerful quake off Indonesia. Doctors struggling with an antibiotic shortage. And what's the future for the Archerfield Speedway? 7 News at 6.
The Clash. That'll set the Big Bash on fire.
Absolutely hammered it.
Melbourne's on a hot streak.
Got him!
Can Adelaide's Aussie stars smash their way to the top?
This is incredible. Over the top into the crowd.
The Big Bash, tonight on 7.
At Carpet Call, we've got over $50 million worth of stock to sell. So when you hear this, you know who to call. That means amazing savings on our carpet, timber, vinyl and laminate flooring. Take 50% off the ticketed price of all fashion rugs, online and in-store. Save on our made-to-order blinds and shutters. So, whenever you hear this, you know who to call.
Call, Carpet Call.
The experts in the trade.
Do flies, mosquitoes or midges prevent you from enjoying the outdoors? Take control with David Gray's Outdoor Fogger with Citronella to kill and repel these pests. Enjoy the open air at your home pest-free with David Gray's Outdoor Fogger.
We all have that one-day dream. Mine is to be a happier, healthier version of myself. I've lost 15 kilos in 12 weeks. The food is delicious. My coach has been amazing. Come on, Australia. Make your one day start today.
Superstition sits next to science. It's family, drama, love, art, and theatre, all tied together by every human emotion. Sport is everything. That's why we've made a betting brand for sports fans. That's better. You know the score. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
Have you heard from Leah at all?
Yeah, they're still in shock with Mike's diagnosis.
See, what if that was us?
It's so hard to imagine. And I know we talked about getting life insurance just after Maddie was born.
Yeah, we did. And we still haven't done that yet, have we?
No, but I've heard about how easy real insurance are to deal with.
Well, let's give them a call.
Yeah, okay.
Call us now and find out why thousands of Australians trust real life insurance to help protect their loved ones.
Our friendly team are here to help. You can even tailor your life insurance cover to suit your family's needs. Simply choose a benefit amount up to $1 million, which can get paid to your loved ones if you pass away. Plus, you'll receive 10% cash back of the premiums you've paid after your 12-month anniversary. Get real life insurance now. It's multi-award-winning financial protection from a company you can trust. For a quick quote, call 139 239 or search Real Life Insurance.
Easy on yourself.
Ferrari formal wear and bridal mega sale is on now. Get up to 70% off. Bridal gowns start from $199. Men's designer suits from only $99. Don't miss the mega sale. 1 week only. Visit ferrariformal.com.au.
11 essential vitamins and minerals, low GI, protein, high in fiber. It's amazing what they squeeze into an up and go.
What's that? It's amazing what they squeeze into an up and go. Oh.
Well, I guess it's a repack.
It's a repack.
We squeeze more good stuff in, so you can get more out. Also available in no added sugar.
A woman has been booted off a Melbourne-bound flight after her alleged drunken behaviour delayed the trip for an hour. Her fellow passengers were only too happy to see her go. The 42-year-old was arrested at Gold Coast Airport and charged with disorderly conduct. Doctors and pharmacists say a nationwide shortage of common antibiotics is forcing them to rely on weaker alternatives. There is a confirmed shortfall of 361 medications, dozens of which are critical. Chris Marr reports.
Well, a critical shortage of key antibiotics has GPs and chemists scrambling to find ways to assist patients. Now, more than 360 medications are in short supply, including dozens regarded as vital treatment for particularly children's conditions. Now, it includes common drugs now hard to obtain, used for conditions like middle ear infections, strep throat and skin infections. For now, the Therapeutic Goods Authority has given pharmacists permission to issue alternatives. The shortage is being blamed on an unexpected rise in global demand for antibiotics and the ongoing COVID impact in China, where many pharmaceuticals are produced. Now, pharmacists who can are making compound liquid versions of the medication, but they are more expensive.
If they need it and we can't get it, often it's the last remaining solution. But like I said, we're trying to work with all the other prescribers in order to ensure the patients are getting those medicines.
The scarcity of antibiotics has reinforced calls for them to be manufactured locally.
I think it's important that we find a long-term solution. I think it's important that we have reliable access to these medications.
Now, it's hoped the current shortage will ease by Easter, but from July, manufacturers of more common medicines will be required by law to keep stock for 6 months to guarantee supply.
A stolen bus has caused carnage on the Gold Coast, hitting 2 parked cars in the thief's haste to escape. Nearby homeowners ran out in an attempt to stop the driver.
He's taken off through the stop sign at the end of the street, cutting cars off everywhere.
The bus was reportedly seen driving northbound on the M1 towards Brisbane. 2 people were killed and 5 injured after Russian rockets hit a village market in Ukraine's Kharkiv region. Footage taken after the attack shows pavilions reduced to rubble, with many still alight. A 13-year-old girl was among those injured. It's likely more people remain trapped under the wreckage. The Archerfield Speedway is set to close. Up next, we speak to the track managers about the future of the sport. And in sport, Test hero Marnus Labuschagne touches down, ready to bring some big bash to the heat.
Seven News will always give you the complete story.
The intense sibling rivalry.
I was genuinely terrified.
The entire 2-storey home engulfed in flames.
Because more than ever, knowing matters.
Prices already down up to 10 cents.
You'll always know the news with 7 News, 6 o'clock.
Sunrise is coming to you live from the red carpet. All the Aussie stars start with Sunrise tomorrow.
At Franklin, we've never cut corners. That's why we've gone our own way in manufacturing the next generation of security screens right here in our factory. We call it ArmorX, and it's exclusive to Franklin.
Introducing the Power XL Air Fryer Oven, the full oven that can air fry 75% more than traditional air fryers. What's the secret? Our stainless steel airflow racks and 1800 watts of rapid air technology fries food with a whirlwind of superheated air for that great crispy fried taste and less calories from fat compared to deep frying. And here's the exciting news. Now you can air fry rotisserie. Imagine savoury turkey breast, leg of lamb and roast beef. But hold everything. The Power XL Air Fryer Oven is also a pro-grade dehydrator. Dehydrate vegetables, herbs and fruit. The Power XL Air Fryer Oven replaces a deep fryer, a rotisserie oven, a dehydrator, an oven, a toaster oven, a pizza grill and a microwave. It features a state-of-the-art touchscreen with 8 presets. With one touch you can rotisserie, dehydrate, air fry, roast, bake, use it as a pizza oven, grill, toast and reheat, and all accessories are dishwasher safe, so clean up is a breeze. The Power XL Air Fryer Oven replaces over $1,500 in appliances, but you won't pay $1,500, not even $300. Call Global Shop Direct or go online now and get the Power XL Air Fryer Oven for the low price on your screen. Plus, when you order today, you'll also get free delivery. But wait, this offer gets even better. Call or search Power to get these 4 amazing bonuses with your Power XL Air Fryer Oven. There's a large stainless steel rotating mesh basket, a stainless steel rotisserie set, a stainless steel skewer set with 10 skewers, and we're also including 3 recipe books. And the Power XL Air Fryer Oven comes with Global Shop Direct's 30-day money-back guarantee. So you'll get the Power XL Air Fryer Oven with the 4 amazing bonuses, all delivered free. This incredible offer is not available in any store, so call or search Power to order yours today.
How to be a good mate. Be ready with Allianz Comprehensive Car Insurance. So when you let your friend drive your car, they're covered the same as you. Allianz.
The story of a kinesiotherapist who rehabbed his golf game.
I love golf. I have always played golf.
Until he started having some mulligan-level foot pain.
Well, the golf game starts down at the feet, and if you don't have good support, you probably won't have a good golf swing.
So he got fitted for Good Feet arch supports.
It made a world of difference.
Any advice for your fellow linksmen?
2 words, the Good Feet store. How many words is that?
Swing by for your free fitting at the Good Feet store.
In 7 News, Magic Millions chaos, the beach race becomes a chase through the Gold Coast. Youth crime crisis, a woman hit by her own stolen car. Darwin shaken by a powerful quake off Indonesia. Doctors struggling with an antibiotic shortage. And what's the future for the Archerfield Speedway? 7 News at 6.
The popular Archerfield Speedway is set to close after being bought by developers, but the track managers are confident it won't spell the end for the sport in the southeast. Reporter Sammy Barnes caught up with track operator Kathy Kelly to discuss plans for building a new future.
We're here at Archerfield Speedway today and I'm with Kathy Kelly, who is a former race driver herself and also a current member of the promotional team. Kathy, thank you for joining me today, and also it is quite sad here today because, of course, Archerfield will be coming to a close in a few months' time.
It is. We count down our last 12 shows for the venue, scheduled to finish on June 3rd. It's been a long history. The venue's 44 years old. We've been here 23 years. It is going to be a very sad time.
It doesn't necessarily have to be the end of Speedway, though, in the southeast, right? There's hopes that we could keep this alive and hopefully move it somewhere else. Tell me about that.
Well, the Queensland government are always saying we're better than the other states. So we've seen WA step up and build a speedway in Perth. We've seen New South Wales recently step up and build one at Eastern Creek. Queensland can do it better than either of those, cheaper and a lot quicker. So we're hoping that Queensland government will come through for us, Brisbane City Council in particular, because it needs to be a city track to keep the sport going.
What does this place mean to die-hard Speedway fans?
Oh look, it's generations of fans. It's not only that, it's suppliers, it's everybody that's been involved with Speedway, it's competitors. We have the strongest competitor base in all of Australia. So that's saying something for just
Brisbane, you know, and little old Archerfield Speedway. So it's going to leave a massive hole in the whole industry.
And there's still plenty of chances to get down here to Archerfield Speedway with 3 more races this week and the final race on June 3rd, which is set to be an absolutely amazing evening.
Let's have a quick look at today's sport now with Alyssa.
Thank you very much, Geordie. Good afternoon to you. A huge boost for the Big Bash with 9 test stars to take part in the tournament over the next fortnight. Among them, Usman Khawaja and Marnus Labuschagne back home and available for the Brisbane Heat tomorrow night against the table-topping Perth Scorchers.
A few technical changes that sort of go with switching formats. So I'll make those changes and then, see how I go.
Meg Lanning will captain Australia in next month's Women's T20 World Cup in South Africa. Keeper batter Elisa Healy returns from a calf injury. Spinner Georgia Wareham making a miracle comeback from a knee ruptured 14 months ago. Australia defending champs after winning the cup in front of a record MCG crowd in 2020. Veteran Bronco Corey Oates says peace has been restored to Red Hill and believes there will be no lingering friction between Selwyn Cobbo and coach Kevy Walters. Cobbo was forced to apologise after calling Walters not a good coach on a podcast. Today, Oates offered a more flattering assessment.
It's not easy to do when you've got a team that struggled for so many years. I think he's done a great job, to be honest.
Players will now have to seek approval from officials before appearing on podcasts. To tennis now, and Rafa Nadal is shrugging off form and fitness concerns before his Australian Open defence. He handed over the keys to an all-electric fleet of player vehicles this morning. At 36, Rafa's savouring every part of his visit and attempting to win a 3rd Australian title.
But I am confident that if I am able to have this last week of positive practices, why not?
He's one of the Demons' victims in the lead-up. Now add Dominic Thiem, beaten by Alex de Minaur at Kooyong. Last night, Tanasi Kokonakis won an entertaining all-Aussie clash with Alexi Poprin in the 2nd Adelaide tournament. And Georgie, plenty happening in sport. We'll have more for you at 6.
Sounds great. Thank you, Alyssa. Time to see what's coming up in 7 News at 6 and our Gold Coast Bulletin. Let's bring in Sharon and Steve. Sharon, there are more calls tonight for swimming lessons in schools.
Yes, Georgie, sadly it's been a horror start to the year for drownings. Tonight we speak to water safety guru Laurie Lawrence about whether the education system should do more to help keep kids safe around water. Also, youth crime is back in the spotlight. We had the terrifying footage of young offenders breaking into a house while the family is home, armed with a machete. And why emergency services are urging the public to be better prepared for the great outdoors after a late-night rescue. And Georgia authorities are warning they will crack down on those doing the wrong thing.
Thanks, Sharon. And Steve, what do you have for us in the Gold Coast News at 5:30?
Good afternoon, Georgie. Well, the Gold Coast world-famous horse racing event brought traffic to a standstill today, literally. We were in hot pursuit after 2 thoroughbreds decided they'd rather tour the glitter strip riderless than take part in the annual beach race to promote the Magic Millions. And our mayor's bold bid to steal the Olympics from Brisbane. Georgie, Tom Tate is keen to see a lot more events come this way.
Thanks, Steve, and thank you, Sharon. Our Gold Coast viewers are off to the chase now. Then join me for your local news at 5:30 and, of course, Sharon at 6 o'clock. For the rest of Queensland, the advice for hikers and bushwalkers on how to stay safe in our national parks and at tourist hotspots. Plus, Darwin rattled as a strong earthquake strikes off Indonesia's coast. And after weather, how a common agricultural pest could help in the treatment of Alzheimer's disease.
This can't be right.
Ben! We've been trying to find you for hours.
Do I know you?
You don't remember me.
I don't remember anything.
You're a time traveler from the year 2022. You leap into other people and need to fix a problem in their life in order to get home. What are you thinking?
Right now that I wish I'd gone into teaching.
Wait a second. Quantum Leap, soon on 7 and 7+.
At Spotlight's New Year clear-out save with Cool-Eat Egyptian cotton sheet set queen bed $69. Cool Wash cotton quilt cover sets from $39. Emerald Hill Sierra cushion $15. So plump it, shake it and snuggle it for less, all backed by our bargain guarantee. Sale on now. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Domino's?
Yeah.
I got just the voucher. Expired!
Get the hottest deals without the ordeal with the new Domino's wallet. No more searching, no missing out, no more frustration. You'll even find buy one pizza, get one free waiting for you in your wallet.
Hot and fresh.
Our site goes live tomorrow and then we're officially in business.
It's exciting. We've really put everything we have into this.
And that's why we need to protect our son's future. Seeing Jason's family nearly lose everything after his accident, I think it's important that we get life insurance.
You're right. It's more important than ever.
Well, I've looked into it and I want to get real life insurance.
Let's do it now.
Call us today and see why hundreds of thousands of customers trust Real Insurance to protect the ones they love. With Real Life Insurance, you can apply for a benefit amount up to $1 million without a medical or blood test. And if you're diagnosed with a terminal illness, 100% of your benefit gets paid in advance. Plus, you'll get back 10% of the premiums you've paid after your 12-month anniversary. Get Real Life Insurance now. It's multi-award-winning financial protection from a company you can trust. For a quick quote, call 139 489 or search Real Life Insurance.
Easy on yourself.
Bounce into summer at Dream World and Whitewater World. With epic rides, slides, Aussie wildlife, awesome tigers, and much more. There's so many worlds to enjoy, all in one place. Take on the Southern Hemisphere's first triple launch coaster, meet new friends, and make new family memories. Buy your tickets online and save. Bounce into summer at Dream World and Whitewater World.
Live from Brisbane, this is 7 News.
Welcome back. Our top stories this Tuesday. 2 boys who were injured in last week's deadly helicopter crash on the Gold Coast are still recovering in hospital. 10-year-old Nicholas Tadros is undergoing major surgery, while Leon Da Silva is stable and out of a coma. More than 100 firefighters have battled a large bushfire that burnt through properties near Millmerran. Several cars and at least one home were destroyed. And there's been mayhem at the Magic Millions on the Gold Coast after 2 horses bolted from the beach. The thoroughbreds cantered through the streets of the glitter strip before being cornered in a quiet street. Emergency services have responded to dozens of calls to assist bushwalkers and hikers in recent weeks, including having to rescue a number of climbers from the Glasshouse Mountains. Joining me now is Fire and Rescue Inspector Cameron Herbert. Inspector, why are we seeing an increase in rescues?
Good afternoon, Georgie. Yes, look, the recent rescues lately has been the accessibility of the local Glasshouse Mountains and other national parks, walks and trails. Because they're so accessible and close to major population areas, we're seeing a large number of different ages, physical abilities of people trying to access these summits and difficult walking trails.
Are people taking on outdoor activities when they're not properly prepared?
Look, what we've come across with many of the walkouts or rescues is that people have not been prepared before they've gone out by checking the weather conditions. We've had a large number of rescues in recent weeks and over the number of years where people have gone out in the very heat of the day, where it can be very hot on the side of these mountainsides, and don't take sufficient supplies of water, the right amount of clothing, footwear protection, sun protection, and subsequently then need assistance off these mountainous terrains.
And what advice would you give to people planning to explore our national parks and hiking trails?
Look, what we would say is that they're very well signaged. Our national parks and Queensland Parks and Wildlife, every trail is well signed. It says the risks, the physical abilities that you will need to get to these summits or take on the trail. Also on their websites, they have all the information you need. Check the weather forecast. And also take someone that has the knowledge of the area with you. We found that a lot of people tackle these trails and summits without knowing, without taking anybody, without knowing the route and how to get back, and also the time of day. Take the time to check how long the summit will take and on return, and make sure you tell somebody when you're due back to your place of residence.
Thank you, Inspector Cameron Herbert. The search for a South African woman who went missing from Augustine Heights in Brisbane's southwest has entered its 12th day. Today, the daughter of 74-year-old Kate Mandala thanked all the volunteers who've helped look for her.
We still hold on hope that Mum, she's okay, and we appreciate everyone keep an eye out in their backyards.
Police say the missing woman speaks limited English and has a medical condition. More than 1,100 homes have been door-knocked as part of the search. Melbourne Victory is on its last warning and will be forced to pay for the damage by its fans following the wild pitch invasion at the Melbourne Derby in December. Today, Football Australia handed down record sanctions against the club.
The incident at the Melbourne Derby on December 17 shocked Australian football. It shocked international football. It's something that Football Australia is not proud about.
Victory has been hit with more than $500,000 in financial sanctions, which includes fines and paying for the damage to Amy Park. There's a $100,000 suspended fine for any future pitch invasion. Home fans are banned from sitting in the first 3 rows behind the goals for the rest of the season, and Victory can't allocate seats for fans at away games. Plus, there's a suspended 10-point deduction for any breach over the next 3 seasons. Darwin appears to have been spared any major damage after being shaken by a major earthquake that had its epicentre more than 600 kilometres away in Indonesia. Robert Avadia is following developments.
Well, a 7.6 magnitude earthquake is certainly enough to be catastrophic. It really depends on the epicentre. Unfortunately, the epicentre this time at 3 a.m. was at the very southern tip of the Indonesian archipelago, and damage and injuries both in Indonesia and also here in Australia have been negligible. Now, Darwin shook violently, though, as a result of it. Take a listen.
Oh my God.
Many residents in the top end were jolted awake. They say buildings rattled and swayed for more than 2 minutes.
The whole house was shaking, so I was a little bit scared there.
The bed was shaking and doors were rattling and yes, it was quite scary actually.
I was thinking, oh no, hope the roof don't fall in because the flat was moving.
The initial thing that sort of went to my mind as soon as it sort of stopped as well, could a tsunami come?
Despite the size of this quake and the proximity of water all around, no tsunami alerts were issued. Residents in Darwin, however, are being told still to brace for potential aftershocks.
Police have released footage of a man they believe can assist them in recovering an historic World War II monument. The eagle statue was torn from its pedestal at Kissing Point in Townsville on Christmas Day.
Extremely upsetting. As I said, Townsville, very, very proud garrison city, particularly coming into Australia Day and onto Anzac Day. So we'd like to locate this item to get it replaced before those.
The Silver Eagle is part of the United States 5th Air Force Memorial. An alleged serial arsonist will be extradited to Melbourne after being arrested in Cairns at the weekend. James McArdle is accused of setting fire to several cars, homes and a business in December. Queensland Police detained him on traffic offences. Those charges were dropped in the Cairns Magistrates Court this afternoon. The 29-year-old is now due to face a Melbourne court on Friday on 17 charges, including 7 counts of arson. Australian researchers have received a multi-million-dollar funding boost, bringing them a step closer to their goal of developing a world-first treatment for Parkinson's disease. Amber Laidler has the exclusive details.
Good afternoon. This project is being described as a game changer in Parkinson's research, using a revolutionary gene therapy which scientists believe could slow or even stop the progression of the disease. Led by Professor Carolyn Sue at Neuroscience Research Australia, the breakthrough uses Nix protein to restore energy supply to the brain's mitochondria in what is hoped could be the world's first neuroprotective treatment for Parkinson's disease.
What happens in Parkinson's disease is that the mitochondria degenerate. Nix is a new way that we found that can regenerate the mitochondria. It's like providing the cell with a new, or the brain cell with a new way of recycling itself.
Parkinson's is the most common neurological degenerative disease in the world, the second most common in Australia, with more than 30 people diagnosed each day. Currently, there's no cure.
Look, we can treat the symptoms of the disease today, but that doesn't change the projection of the disease going forward. It's one of the pathways that's really exciting that could make a big difference within 2 to 3 years.
The research is now being fast-tracked thanks to a multi-million-dollar cash injection from the Shake It Up Australia Foundation. We'll have more details in our bulletin at 6 o'clock.
Let's take a look at finance now with Stephen Daglian from CommSec. Steve, the share market's winning streak has come to an end.
Good afternoon, Georgie. Exactly right. Look, the market fell today by around 0.25%. Now, mind you, this follows a 3% rally over the prior 4 days. But what we've seen so far this week is markets are a little nervous at the moment, partly because there's a lot to watch actually in coming days in the United States in particular. So tonight there's a speech by the big decision maker for American interest rates, Jerome Powell. He's speaking tonight. And then on Thursday, there's a key update on American inflation. So both could be considerations and give us an idea of how big the interest rate hike could be in the US in early February. But today we had losses across the board in most sectors here in Australia. Mining companies, which have easily been the best performers so far this year, came under some pressure, in particular gold miners like Newcrest and Northern Star. BHP also fell slightly today, but is still a whisker away from getting back to the record highs last seen in 2021. And a standout in that space was actually lithium miner Lake Resources, which rose by more than 1% today after confirming it's making progress on developing one of its key projects in Argentina. The Aussie dollar sitting at about 69.1 US cents, Georgie.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has flown out of the Kimberley region in Western Australia after seeing firsthand the damage caused by catastrophic floods. The water has started receding, revealing that around 100 properties have been damaged. Since December, the region has had almost 500 millimetres of rain. The fallout after political protests in Brazil after the break. Hundreds of election deniers arrested for storming Congress. And the unusual police recruit getting ready for a new posting.
Get hooked on the brand new 7 Bravo. The party now! The new channel that's totally free. The new place to get hooked on addictive reality. Wait, what? Living my best life. Get hooked on compelling true crime. Get hooked on red carpets from the biggest award shows.
Oh my God.
And more.
I'm surprised to see me here too.
Get hooked on 7 Bravo and 7 Plus.
ClearScore helped me take control of my finances. I applied for a mortgage refinance and the bank knocked me back. They said my credit score wasn't good enough. They didn't tell me what it should be or how to fix it. They just said no. So I downloaded ClearScore. ClearScore revealed an unpaid credit card I completely forgotten about. Straight away, ClearScore began helping fix my credit score. I can check my score every month and it's going up. I'm doing all the right things to maintain it. I finally got the loan, all thanks to ClearScore.
Download the ClearScore app, your credit score and report, for free, forever.
Mariama was born with a cleft lip and nose that required surgery to correct. Rejected by her community for being different, Mariama faces an uncertain future with poor job prospects. For so many people living like Mariama, the pain is real and their lives are on hold. For as little as $25 per month, you too can help patients like Mariama. Go to mercyships.org.au or call 1300 Mercy Ships.
Problem with ants? Well, not anymore when you use David Gray's easy-to-use Antex granules. Antex, rapidly becoming part of Aussie culture.
He did say it was the most powerful in its class! All the gear, no idea!
Terry, it's 7 o'clock on a Sunday!
Good thing you've got your insurance solved.
The experts agree. Budget Director once again Insurer of the Year, so you can relax knowing your home's covered.
Your car too.
Money Magazine and CountStar's Insurer of the Year.
Insurance sold with Budget Direct.
Introducing the world's first fully recycled hammock, made from 37 plastic bottles, rated 5 stars across the globe. You'll love Nike and love the world even more.
My tips for an outstanding dish: never compromise. Use amazing ingredients and a stunning presentation. Finish Ultimate Pro removes 24-hour dried-on stains.
Every day, Bupa helps prepare millions of Australians for life's ups, downs, and up agains. Search Bupa, CanStar's outstanding value health insurance for 2022.
Dispatched once again.
And here comes the streaker. Yes! The Front Bar Rule Sports, coming soon.
The state government has announced $19 million in funding to help riverine areas recover from last year's floods. The money is aimed at tackling erosion and vegetation loss along waterways. It's part of a joint initiative with the federal government.
As we recover, there's been a focus on homes and infrastructure, but it's important that we also recover the environment too.
Community groups in 39 local government areas will be eligible to apply for the funding. 1,500 people have been arrested in Brazil after supporters of former President Jair Bolsonaro stormed Congress, the presidential palace and the Supreme Court. The country's new leader has labelled the riots act of terrorism and vowed to punish the perpetrators. Ashley Mullaney has more.
Brazil's new leader, President Lula da Silva, has condemned the actions of the far-right mob that wreaked havoc in the nation's capital. The military was brought in to secure government buildings after thousands of protesters confronted police, smashing windows, storming Congress, presidential palace and the Supreme Court. The rioters, supporters of former President Bolsonaro, believing without evidence the election was rigged, scenes reminiscent of the January 6 riots in the United States. President Lula arrived in the capital overnight to assess the damage. More than 1,000 people have been detained for questioning. Meanwhile, Bolsonaro, now living in Florida, was taken to hospital overnight with pains in his abdomen. There's now growing calls for him to leave the United States, world leaders condemning the actions of his supporters.
And the actions of a small number of people are condemned by the Australian government. We'll continue to convey our support to the government of Brazil.
This was an obvious and clear attack on a democratic process, and we condemn it.
President Biden is calling it an assault on democracy. He's spoken to President Lula today and invited him to the White House in early February.
An orphaned lamb rescued by a pair of rural police officers is about to bid goodbye to his adopted community at Cecil Plains. Constables Dave Maisie and Reagan Manley were recently promoted and are being transferred to Camberwell, and they're taking deputised sheep Tom Tucker with them. The locals will be saddened to see the four-legged police officer go, but greener pastures await on the Queensland Northern Territory border. Sydney Fishermen's claims that shark numbers in the harbour and rivers are increasing could be correct. One local angler certainly has proof the large predators are present, reeling in a monster bull shark in the city's inner west. The 3-metre shark was tagged and released safely back into the water. Experts say the wet weather has brought more fish into waterways, and that's also attracting sharks. How long will these cloudy conditions persist? Paul Burt has the forecast next. And how's the common fruit fly helping develop treatments for Alzheimer's disease?
In 7 News, Magic Millions chaos, the beach race becomes a chase through the Gold Coast. Youth crime crisis, a woman hit by her own stolen car. Darwin shaken by a powerful quake off Indonesia. Doctors struggling with an antibiotic shortage. And what's the future for the Archerfield Speedway? 7 News at 6.
G'day, it's Travis Groves taking a look at your roads with thanks to Freedom. Got a 2-vehicle crash on Bribie Island Road, including a rollover. Big delays both ways out through Caboolture. Slow on the Gateway Motorway northbound from Deagon, pushing up towards the Pine River Bridge. Also heavy on Gympie Arterial Road up through Bald Hills, and the M1 hitting the brakes southbound through Underwood. Absolutely everything is on sale at Freedom, with up to 25% off sofas, up to 55% off mattresses, and up to 50% off homewares. On now, only at Freedom.
It's not fair. This was supposed to be the happiest day of Tani's life.
We gotta go. There's been an accident.
How do I say
Baby? I need an ambulance.
Hurry, she's gone into full arrest. She's not breathing, Cash. This accident was your fault.
Okay, Cash, come on.
My sister is trapped in the ute, and Eden is fighting for her life because of you.
No, no.
We're gonna get you out, okay?
How do I say goodbye? Home and Away, tonight on 7 and 7+.
At Spotlight's New Year Clear Out, VIP save 40% off all fabric by the metre. VIP save 50% off all Singer sewing machines and overlockers. And Mistral stick mixer set, $25. So bake it, sew it and stitch it for less. All backed by our bargain guarantee. Sale on now. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Transfer your existing credit card balance into the Citi Clear Card. It's a 3-year break from interest that tips the balance in your favour. There's way more to a Citi card. The Citi Clear Card. Apply now.
At Vodafone, we've worked tirelessly to bring you a huge amount of data, so you can share this. Get 40 gigs for $40 a month. Make your move to Vodafone.
At Origin, we've got your back. With certainty in all this uncertainty. With great value energy today, investments in solar, and exploring new possibilities in wind, batteries, and hydrogen for tomorrow. Because at Origin, we don't have a crystal ball, but we do have a vision to make today's energy better and tomorrow's energy cleaner. That's good change we can all be part of. Origin, where all good change starts.
The Go With More sale event starts now. Get $1,000 off the drive-away price on a selected range of GWM models. The road to more starts here.
After storms, always look out for fallen power lines. Stay well clear and assume they're live and deadly. The message from Energex is simple. Report fallen power lines immediately.
Universal protection is something RAID scientists have been working on for more than 60 years. That's why RAID brands protect more people from pests in more places around the world. RAID. Everyone deserves protection. SC Johnson.
The youngest chaser in the world.
Since you love Michael Jackson, you'll be very comfortable moonwalking out of here.
But is the smiling assassin
The ketchup vials, Lithuanian.
about to be taught
Pelican. Correct.
an old school lesson?
Well, no one knows everything. Let's go.
The Chase, weekdays on 7 and 7+.
Good afternoon, Queensland. You are watching 7 News as we come to you live from the beautiful beaches of Surfers Paradise, where the sun is just ducked behind a grey cloud. First one of today, go figure. Let's take a look at the charts now, because we do have that very active monsoonal trough across the far northern parts of Australia. There is a low embedded within that system over the Northern Territory. Just ahead of that trough, as it stretches all the way down through southwestern parts of Queensland into New South Wales, Victoria, lies embedded thunderstorms. Now that system tomorrow is really going to affect our highland regions, also as it moves in towards areas of Longreach, down towards Mackay, even around Emerald and Rockhampton. Those areas are in for a line of storms as that system passes towards the east. So for tomorrow, most of the caps are going to be mostly sunny. Canberra, Melbourne's going to be hot, 32 degrees, and Hobart much cooler and 25. Back to the tropics, there's those showers for Cairns, storms for Mackay. Further south, storms also Longreach into Emerald and Rockhampton, a couple of showers for Gladstone, then clearing up to mostly sunny day from Bundaberg through to Toowoomba, 16 to 29. And back home, pretty good conditions around the sunny coast to the Gold Coast, highs at 29 degrees, 19 to 20 overnight, 20 to 31 in the city, and top at 33 degrees for Ipswich, 30 degrees also for Logan. And of course, with that, Georgie, very similar conditions to what we experienced today. Light winds early before they start to blast at about 9 a.m. I'll have more weather at 6 p.m.
Thank you for that, Bertie. Fruit flies have helped Australian researchers work out a genetic link to Alzheimer's disease. The findings are expected to help the development of new treatment options. Sarah Jones spoke to the team behind the breakthrough.
Good afternoon. I am joined by the lead researcher, Dr. Agaliad. Doctor, thank you for your time. Tell us how fruit flies are helping unlock clues for your Alzheimer's research.
So it's been known for many years that genetic variations of a gene called TOM40 are strongly correlated with the Alzheimer's disease. So what we've done using fruit flies is to produce more of this gene in the fly eyes and understand the processes that happen after that. In collaboration with our with researchers from the Australian National University, we have shown that overproduction of this protein causes neurons in the fly eyes to die, and this has implications for the disease.
Do these findings give hope for Alzheimer's patients?
Yes, definitely. Currently, there is no cure for this disease, and while there are some treatment options, they are not quite effective. So this new discovery could help us understand new entry points into the progression of this disease, and by understanding a bit more about this process, we can design new therapies to prevent or slow the progression of this disease.
And now that this connection has been made, what happens from now?
So our first goal is to understand this process a bit better, to do more research into understanding the finer details, and which would then guide us to design new therapies that might help people who suffer from this devastating disease.
Dr. Agalia, thank you for your time. Back to you.
Well, that's Queensland's 4 p.m. news for this Tuesday. You can stay up to date by visiting 7news.com.au or following us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. But stay with us now for The Chase, then 7 News at 6. I'm Georgie Chumbley and I'll see you tomorrow.
So I'm about to surprise a local rugby player. I'm on my way to his house and I'm going to make him audition for me on the spot. Hi.
Hey.
You're Noah, right?
Yes.
I'm Amy.
Hey, Amy.
Nice to meet you. Take a deep breath. And in your own time, let's hear it.
Look at the stars. Look how they shine for you. All the things that you do, you're there all yellow.
And it's probably the first time I've got goosebumps. That was so good! Oh, I'm so excited because I found him. You guys, sorry. I think you can win this thing.
Australian Idol on 7 and 7+. It all starts Monday, Jan 30.
These four strangers must work as a team to win thousands of dollars, but standing in